Peace, family. So I'm back with another one, you know what I'm saying? So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to dive a little bit deeper on gang stalking, you know what I'm saying? So salute to my subscriber, you know what I'm saying, Divine Energy. They put out the recommendation for me to dive a little bit deeper on gang stalking. And it's kind of a pretty in-depth subject, and I just kind of touched base on it a little bit, but to dive a little bit more, and for the people who haven't missed it, or who has missed it, gang stalking, you have to break up the two words first, which you have to break down the words of everything. Words are spells. That's a whole nother subject. But a gang is a group of people. That's all gang defines as. I know they like to create these different terms as, gangs is these cultural people that do these kinds of things and do this, but the gang, their definition of it is a group of people. Stalking is kind of what the predator does before it gets its prey. You know, it stalks it. It finds a good spot, or it creeps on it real slow. It's like this whole tactic that it does before it actually attacks the prey. So when you put the two together, and I'm a being having a human experience, so I always speak from the spiritual standpoint. So gang stalking, you have to take it from a concept of these different entities are jumping vessels. You see what I'm saying? So like, say you grew up in a household, you know, you got your mom, doesn't matter if you got your dad or whatever who's in the house with you, you got some siblings in the house with you. I grew up with my moms and my two younger siblings in the household with me. So for me, my experience of gang stalking in the household on a lower vibration, before I really had an understanding of what was actually going on, was I was the black sheep. You know what I'm saying? That was my role in the family. So I had to take the bare brute of everybody's responsibilities that they did not take themselves. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was my mom's not fucking doing her part as, you know, an ancestral guide, a living ancestor, because that's what we are. Once you get to these certain ages, you are a living ancestor. So she wasn't doing her part. You know, my brother, who was a year younger than me, he was the quote-unquote golden child, you know what I'm saying? So all the accolades went to him, regardless of if he did them or if he didn't do them. You know, just everything always seemed to accolade his way in the 3D realm. And my younger brother was more so of the dependent child, you know what I'm saying? He depended on my mom for everything. So the way the ops would use their vessels is, because we wasn't learning how to become spiritual beings in my household growing up. We was raised robotic just like everybody else. These vessels was weak. So it would be times where I could be having a great day, which I always wake up in a good mood, but it'll be some days where I get up and then I'll have a sibling or my mom or try to put some weird energy on me, or to feel like this weird attack on me when I haven't stepped out of line, haven't done anything out of order with anyone. And I always used to be curious of it, you know, and I had started understanding and looking into black sheep and these things, you know, being a scapegoat of your family or your household or peers or whatever it is. And that does happen, but once I start diving deeper within me, I realize once you start becoming more spiritually connected and finding your path, you are being gang stalked by the ops. The ops are the ones that's gang stalking you. So, and when I say the ops, I mean the beings that's in the invisible world that's gonna be gang stalking you. You know what I'm saying? These are gonna be the beings that you don't see, you know, so it's easy for them to jump vessel to vessel to vessel. So I don't know how many of you have watched the movie The Matrix, but it's always a great movie to go back and play and to look at and to use to analyze, because there's a lot of Agent Smiths out here, you know, and the Agent Smith comes at different levels, but then you have people like the homeless guy who was in the movie as well, who, when they was chasing Neo and the other girl that was with him, who were the chosen ones, they was able to use all these weaker vessels. So if you ever notice you're around somebody and the energy just kind of shifts right away, or you go to meet them somewhere and the energy is just really like unsettling, unwelcoming, they got this weird eye on you, they're like listening really weirdly, attentively, they don't really like have any real conversation. It's more so of you just putting all your information out there and them just intaking this information. So when we talk as chosen ones, and I did a subject on that one too, so when I mean chosen ones, I'm just saying anyone who's here to raise the frequency and vibration of this planet, you know what I'm saying? And then you have other beings who just have special abilities that's here, and they have a purpose as well too, you know what I'm saying? So all of these beings will be bunched into one, and these are the ones who the ops is going to be looking to keep an eye on, and they've been keeping an eye on you since you was little. Ever since you was little, they've been watching you, and that's why they have to work so hard to keep us down. They tried to tell us to don't get angry, to minimize your anger, but why would we have this emotion if we wasn't supposed to express it? So when I was little, I would get angry, but I would also know how to transmute and transfer that energy. The way they put anger out there is as if people get angry and then they just run off and do a bunch of reckless shit. But they also have a cartoon in a movie called The Hulk, where he was very, very, very meticulous and very, you know, structured with his anger. Yes, he did hulk up and you know, people got afraid of him, but he wasn't just running around like a mindless nothing, just beating the shit out of everything, you know what I'm saying? He had an objective. His anger, his rage was towards something. It stemmed from something within, you know what I'm saying? So the gang stalking, if you have these abilities, if you always been able to do something special within you and it reflected outside of you, the gang stalking has been going on since you were little. The gang stalking is not going to stop. Gang stalking isn't just, oh, you get into an argument with somebody or you break up with somebody and then people just want to like, oh, I'm going to get my friends to go on your social media, I'm going to get them to do this, do that. Gang stalking is more so of, you're a chosen one, you've been finding yourself, you've been trying to, you know, wake people up around you, or you've been working and growing in your abilities, helping and healing, whatever your abilities is, you've been working in that field. The ops don't want to see this happen. You're going to have weird stuff happening with your phone, whether when you really want to use it or you're thinking about something or talking about something, you really want to use it, your phone is just going to not load into certain things, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to, your service is going to be doing weird shit. It can go the same thing for your computer, you know what I'm saying? You could be trying to do something on your computer and you're in that space, like you just really want to be productive or you really want to learn some shit, and then as soon as you start to go to dig, all of a sudden it's like some other entity, but you're going to blame it on the computer or your service why you're not able to access the information you're trying to look up. It's these ops working against you. It's the ops working against you. It's no different than when your car's been running fine and you go outside to the car and you get in, now all of a sudden something is being weird on it. You know what I'm saying? And you just had the maintenance done. This is all a form of gang stalking. It's no different than you getting ready to turn out of your house and you're driving up the road and then another car just cuts you the fuck off and then they look at you like it's your fault. They're not looking at you like it's your fault. When you catch their eyes, you're going to tell that it's not that vessel. It's something else watching you through these eyes. This happens all the time. You can go in a store and they're going to give you the same look as if they're looking through you. Some of us, we take it as if, oh, well, they could just be looking at my color or whatever. But then the rest of us going to take it as, come on, B. Then the rest of us is going to take it as if this is a lot deeper and I really am going to have to figure out some kind of space, because once I start finding me, I realize it's not everybody's fault. You know what I'm saying? We can blame other entities, but I gotta let this be up out of here. We can let other... Yeah. Sorry about that. Anytime I come out, in nature, it's always some kind of life forms that has to come over and show me that they know what's going on. And this bumblebee has been fucking with me since I started trying to film this shit. That shit is a form of gang stalking. That bumblebee is a vessel. I ain't call it bumblebee. I don't know what the fuck it is. We just identify and give things name. But that bee knows that I was trying to get some work done. The forces above or below or outward in outer space. This is outer space, and my vessel is in space. Outside is outer space. But that bee, that vessel was being used to gang stalk. It's coming in and out of my car while I'm sitting here talking, getting information. I have nothing in the car for it. But it can still relay this information. That's what I mean by how deep gang stalking can go. And if you're not really in tune, then you're gonna kind of take everything personal, and it's gonna make life a whole lot harder for you. It's gonna be way more difficult. People are gonna be trying to reach out to become friends with you or to try to get with you, when really they vessel is just being used to get placed close to you, so that way the op can utilize that vessel to minimize or to destroy you. That's the whole purpose. You see what's going on out here in the Matrix. You have the Matrix, and then you have the creator in life. You know what I'm saying? So the gang stalking doesn't just go for on a layman's terms, a low vibrational frequency. This shit is very deep, and it's on a very high frequency. Very high frequency. The ops do things like shut this fucking camera off when I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the things that happen. I know that I'm not dealing with the vessel per se, but the vessel is being used because that's how we are able to interact with this 3D world out here. You know what I'm saying? So with the day and age that we in right now, we have to be super attuned. We have to be super alert. We have to be super prepared and super ready for everything that's going on and coming our way. They trying to force these things on us. They doing all kind of shit right now. And then you gonna have family members that's gonna be riding with that shit. Friends that's riding with that shit, you know what I'm saying? And then you have to be able to have that inner strength and have your belief system strong with the creator to know that you being looked out for. You know what I'm saying? All these motherfuckers that got a gang stalk you, they only gang stalking you because they weak as fuck. They weak as fuck, so that's why they got a gang stalk you, because most of them is not going to address you to your face. And if they're addressing you to your face, trust me, they're going to keep it extremely subtle. They're not going to push any boundaries. If anything, they're going to try to push a boundary to get you to crash. But they are not strong beings or entities or vessels, however you want to put it. The vessel is weak, so it's being used by the op. The entity is weak. That's why it has to maneuver the way it maneuvers. It's all a fucking manipulation tactic for the op to either get you to side with them or to get you to just destroy yourself, because then we fucking up they flow. We fucking up they flow. They trying to get something organized. They want to have full control. So in order to have full control, you have to gang stalk God's chosen ones. You have to gang stalk God's chosen ones in order to maintain full control. Because we don't really follow the flow of the Matrix. We understand it and we dance around that bitch like ballet. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like diving deep full in and believing in that shit and flowing with it and care for doing what everybody else doing, that's not our flow. That's not our flow. That's not what the fuck we do. You know what I'm saying? So gang stalking is very fucking real. It's not just what you see. It's always deeper. You know what I'm saying? If you outside in nature and you're walking in a fucking acorn fall, that could be a possibility of a form too. You know what I'm saying? Oh, all this space and now this acorn falls right here to get my attention. You know what I'm saying? It could have almost hit you, or maybe it did hit you. But all of these are subtle forms of gang stalking. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to drop that up there for y'all. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got any more recommendations, you know what I'm saying, just let me know. I probably will dive deeper one more time on this gang stalking. I just didn't want to run it up too much for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the kings and queens.